future, 2025, 2030, 10 years, whatever. Technology is always changing. Can we even start to speculate or picture what technology in this area might look like a decade from now?
So, I mean, I think so. I think that there are probably people out there much smarter than me that are thinking way into the future, but technology moves at warp speeds. And sometimes I believe that we're actually living in the future all the time because it's changing so rapidly. You can see that with 3D printers is a really good example. One minute they're just printing these small toys that maybe are part of a board game, but now there's a story about a 10-year-old girl where university students did a 3D prosthetic so she could play a violin. So I think that technology, no matter what, it touches every corner of our lives. It's part of every single industry. I think that software is going to continue to stay very large in the tech industry because just take medical, for example. Software that can cure diseases, diagnose diseases, that's there. And so Omaha's right in there with it. I think our entire world is part of what's going to happen in the future with technology.
As far as technology, you know, we're looking at some of these other topics, business, education, you mentioned healthcare. When we look at what those look like in the future, technology plays a role.
Oh, well, absolutely, because again, what we want is we want convenience in our lives, and the only way that we're going to continue to have those types of conveniences is to find ways where technology can improve our lives. I was thinking the other day that when you wake up, you know, how many years ago when alarm clocks were made, and the invention of alarm clocks were probably just this fantastic thing, and they've changed over the years electronically. Well, now in robotics, and you can have a robot come in and actually physically wake you up and say your name and things of that sort. Those are just small pieces of our lives where technology is going to continue to enhance what we're doing, and the education and curriculum has to stay on top of technology. I believe that whatever we're doing is going to build economic development, and you have to be able to stay with it. And those folks that are out there that, you know, always push technology away or they don't want to try something new, people will be left behind. You have to be able to stay on the edge of what's happening.
Yeah. As far as, you know, technology in our lives, is it going to get, we still have the luxury now, right, where if we want to put away our phone for an hour, we can. Or, you know, I think of parents monitoring their kids' screen time. Do you, if you could look into a crystal ball, do you think that we'll get to a point where it's just going to be all around us and there's no way to escape it, for lack of a better term? Or
you can't take the human out of the human. I think that you can escape it regardless. You'll be able to find ways to do that. It's just that what's happening to our brains to tell us that we can't put it down, or what's happening when we try to make things more convenient that we can't seem to fight that. And that, to me, is probably more of a psychological level, because you're not going to be able to change us unless, of course, we all start having chips. You know, and then you have to program your chip to shut yourself down, which, hey, that could be future technology, and I'm sure it's already happening. But ultimately, it's all around us. I mean, you can look in this room and we have technology everywhere, and you can't get away from it. But yes, I think we'll still have a choice to be able to do that. It's just at shorter periods of time.
You know, AIM has been around for, you know, a few decades, and when you take a look at the way that this nonprofit has really been involved in different aspects of the community, whether it's through the brain exchange programs, through infotech, even though it's just a couple years, through acquiring, you know, Silicon Prairie News, things like that. How does a nonprofit kind of continue to be involved in the tech game?
So here's what's interesting, that even though, so 25 years, we're celebrating a 25-year anniversary, and what's cool is we actually just had a retirement party for the original founding member, which is Dr. Robert Sweeney today. And one of the things that he said is that over 25 years, AIM has been able to stay relevant, and we exceeded expectations, because what we do is we have the ability to mold ourselves throughout the community. I think with tech, it's not necessarily the technology that's being created. It's making sure that we continue strong partnerships and collaborate with people in our community, our region, our nation, to make sure that there's education out there, that we understand what jobs are out there, that we understand that we can take people who maybe a long time ago wouldn't have transitioned a career, and we can provide them that type of education to transition a career, therefore economic development and businesses grow. So it's really cyclical, because even 25 years ago, AIM was about growing business and improving economic development in all sectors, and we're doing that today, but it's about strong partnerships and collaborating and breaking down silos and making sure that we're pushing ahead and we're staying relevant.
So it's not just about the tech, it's about the people behind the tech?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you know, technology is great, but it's still us that has to come in every day, and we have to, you know, provide great communication to each other, and we have to share information, and we have to network well, and we have to connect people. You know, whether it's connecting people to amazing careers or providing them tech education, starting with curiosity at a young age. But there's components of that where we can have intro to app development for children, but the key there is they're actually going to learn some real life scenarios in teamwork building, in understanding how to take instruction from another person. So it all stays relevant with the human connection, and I think that's why AIM succeeds so well, is that it's not just about going in and trying something new on your own like a play box, like a sandbox. It's actually about having a human connector there who's going to guide you through and then connect you to another person or to a job or whatever it may be.
As far as some of the challenges that may lie ahead, what are some challenges that may lie ahead, whether it be, you know, gender gap or, you know, the Silicon Prairie being able to really compete with the coast? What are some challenges for this area?
I believe that probably a big thing is making sure that we teach people at a very young age that it's okay to fail, because if you don't learn how to fail, then you won't stay innovative. And you need to have an innovative and entrepreneurial spirit to stay ahead in any industry, technology especially, because it changes so rapidly.
You know, and thinking of the idea of like the Silicon Prairie, you know, you have places like Huddle in Lincoln. You have a bunch of the different startups here, or
right,
data centers.
Mm-hmm. Flywheel and Bulu Box.
Exactly.
And right.
Yeah. You know, you have